got you now. You give up?
You haven't kissed me.
Now it's your turn. Oh, it's glorious. Isn't Acapulco like Mallorca? Remember that night on the beach 6 months ago when we fell asleep in the sand?
I remember. The fleas.
And that little boy that found us the next morning? How he wanted us to stay. What was his name? Pepe?
Speaking of angels. Have a penny? Throw it to him.
Hey, muchacho!
Oh. It's been wonderful being with you.
You're my everything.
I'm so happy you feel fine again.
Oh, I couldn't have stood that boat another day. Those engines thumping. It was like being under bombardment again.
I know. It's all my fault. I got us a cabin practically in the engine room. Your head hurts again?
Let's take off our clothes and go for a swim.
People would see.
There's nobody up that way.
Another time, darling. I'm going home and right to bed. I've had it today, packing on the boat, getting the luggage off, unpacking at the pension. You go on and make your head feel even better.
I'll take you back.
No, it's not late. The driver will take me back.
I won't be long, just up to the point and back.
It's a fine way to behave. Wake me when you get in, huh?
Want to be kissed goodnight? Fetch on Riedel.
Señor.
Beer.
¿Cerveza? Sí, señor. $2 pesos, señor. You artist?
Yes. Just a sketch.
Bueno. You like to dance?
Senor Stevenson, will you join us?
Good evening.
I was just telling my other guest of your arrival. This is Miss Everling, who teaches the manual boxing, and this is Miss Bradley, who teaches the singing and Kiko away. Correct? This is Mrs. Stevenson.
Hello.
I instruct manual arts. Alice, my friend, teaches music in Keokuk, Iowa. You came through the canal by freighter. How romantic. I've always dreamt of that.
I'm afraid it wasn't very romantic. It was an old banana boat and most uncomfortable. I'll never be able to look another banana in the face.
Mrs. Stevenson? You mean this enchanting young lady has a husband?
Oh, Captain.
This is Capitan Monteros, my bad boy from the police.
And this is the bad boy's son, a good boy, Roberto. Aunt Nunu told me she had new guests, but nothing about the beautiful lady.
You see what I mean? He's incorrigible with ladies. I don't trust my Enrique. Where is Senor Stevenson?
Trevor's gone for a walk. I'm afraid he hasn't gotten his land legs yet. He hated the boat. It made him rather ill.
I know exactly how he felt. I suffer horribly from mal de mer myself.
But I would imagine you to be an excellent sailor.
I'm ashamed to say I am.
Maria, coffee for the senor.
Oh, no, please. I must ask you to excuse me. I'm exhausted. That's why I came back.
You arrived today, Senora?
This morning. And I thought the day would never end, so if you don't mind.
My dear, please. And if you need anything, just call for Maria.
I must be off too, Nunu. I have a big day at the police tomorrow. Come along, Roberto.
My Enrique, he never comes to see his old aunt, but he comes 5 minutes and is gone. And usually, just to ask me to watch Roberto while he's...
Perhaps now that you have such enchanting guests, I shall come more often and stay longer.
I'll see you all again, I know. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
You don't live here, Captain?
No, I just keep bachelor headquarters with my son.
You're married?
My wife is dead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was lonely at first, but I've grown accustomed to it.
Can one? I don't know what I'd do without my husband.
You've not been married long, Senora?
6 months.
Ah, then you're still in love.
That bad?
On the contrary. It's the nicest thing that can happen to any of us. I know I'm in and out of love several times a week.
You're something of a cynic, Captain.
An occupational complaint, Senora. Roberto! Happy dreams, Senora.
Thank you.
Capitan Monteros. Here. I saved a piece of your favorite cake for you.
Thank you, Maria. I shall think of you when I eat it. With Roberto.
It's time to go home, senor.
But, isn't there any other place?
See?
Have you ever been painted? You know, I'd like you to pose for me. Could you, tomorrow? I'd pay you well. Mucho dinero.
See? Tonight.
¿Tenía sed, periquito? Agua para que tomes. Buenos días, capitán.
Buenos dias, Maria. Senor Stevenson, is at home?
Sí, capitán. Un momento, por favor. Señor. Señor.
Yes?
The captain from the police.
Just a moment. Yes, what is it?
Capitán Monteros, to see Senor Stevenson.
What does he want? Ask him to come in.
Sí, señora.
Gracias, Maria.
Good morning, Captain.
Senora, buenos dias. I was reluctant to call on you at such an early hour, but I didn't know you had gone to bed early last night.
It's quite all right. You wanted to see my husband?
Yes, Senora.
I'm afraid that's impossible for the moment.
He's not here?
Yes, but he's not up yet. You see, my husband hasn't been well. He's been taking a drug to sleep. It would be impossible to talk to him until perhaps 11. What did you want to see my husband about?
To ask him some questions.
Is it about our passports or something like that? I'm sure our papers are all in order.
About his whereabouts yesterday.
His whereabouts? Why?
A girl was murdered.
What has that got to do with my husband?
He was seen talking to her.
But he was with me all day yesterday. We went for a walk. We had an early dinner together. I came back here and met you, remember?
Your husband did not come back with you. He was seen talking to her during the evening. You understand, we must question everybody who was seen with the girl last night. A number of people were. Unfortunately, your husband among them. If you will tell him to come to the police station this morning.
Of course.
It's a formality. Don't let this give you a wrong impression of us in Acapulco. These things happen anywhere.
I understand. We'll be in your office before noon.
Thank you, Senora. Just ask for me. Buenos dias, Senora.
There was a cantina, and this girl was there. You know I'm a painter.
Yes.
Well, I'd been looking for a model. The moment I saw this girl, I knew she was perfect. I asked her if she'd pose for me. She said she would. I made some sketches of her on the spot. Very rough. I arranged with her to come to the pension this afternoon, and we fixed a price for her posing.
And?
I continued with my walk along the beach. I walked a long time. Several hours, in fact, until I was completely tired.
Did you see anybody during this walk?
I don't think so. It was very late by the time I came back through town. Was I the only person to talk to this girl?
Senora, I would like to talk to your husband alone.
I have no secrets from my wife, Captain.
The girl had rooms near the beach. Did you go out with her that way?
I left her on the waterfront.
May I see your passport? Thank you.
Do you want mine?
No, that won't be necessary. You're from Vermont. Your home is there?
It used to be. Ever since my uncle left me an income, I've been beachcombing.
Trevor. He sells pictures all the time. He's good.
Don't listen to her. She's incorrigible. Before we even met, she sold 3 of my paintings in the art gallery where she worked, and she's never gotten over it.
You're from Vermont too, Senora?
My wife is from San Francisco.
And how long do you plan to stay with us?
A week, a year, forever. Depends on how the work goes. So far, it's been charming. We want our honeymoon to last forever.
So you'll be with us for a little while?
You mean you want us to stay?
Oh, you understand formalities in something like this. But of course, if you feel like leaving quickly, I would like you to let me know.
Of course.
I think that will be all then. Thank you for coming in, and I hope your stay in Acapulco will be pleasant.
Perhaps you'll join us for a drink one evening, Captain. We'd appreciate it. We hardly know anyone here as yet.
I should like that very much.
Any evening, I stop painting when the light goes.
I shall look forward to it. Buenas tardes.
Goodbye. Well, what did you say here, Captain? Hasta la vista?
Yes, very good, senor, very good. Adios.
Adios.
Pedro.
I want you to wire to the police in Rutland, Vermont. Here is the name and passport number. I want the complete coverage on Senor Stevens. Chief Captain.
I adore crimes of passion. When I was young, a man tried to kill me.
Not really.
It is the truth.
How did you escape? Judo?
Well, I'm not sure what that judo means.
Not judo, Gertrude. Did you talk him out of it?
Well, you may call it that. You are late, senora, but lunch is still ready. Or have you eaten?
I'm not hungry, thank you. The heat, you know.
Oh, yes. It leaves no appetite. Senor, you have your appetite, I hope.
Oh, yes, of course. I'll be right down. Darling? Hey, what's the matter?
I couldn't eat. That poor child had a horrible death.
I know. Don't worry about it.
I can't believe things like that go on when we're so happy.
Now, don't worry. Just put it out of your mind and rest. I'll be up shortly.
Maria! Maria!
Goya, the beachcomber. Where you been?
Estelle, you've been swimming.
I looked all over the beach for you.
I painted the rocks. It was beautiful.
You heard about the birds?
Birds? What birds?
Senora Riedels, the cat killed 2 of them this afternoon.
Ah, good riddance. Now maybe we'll be able to hear ourselves think. They woke me up this morning.
Trevor, how callous.
Why, what's callous about it? They couldn't have been very happy anyway. How would you like to spend the rest of your life shut up in a cage?
It was a dreadful thing.
They are not dead. They do not sleep. They have awakened from this dream of life.
You and your Shelley. Why, you've been painting marvelously. You had a good morning then, huh?
Glorious. Wait, I remember more. They have outsoared the shadow of our night. Envy and calumny and hate and pain, and that unrest which men miscall delight can touch them not. And torture not again.
Fool, I love you. I'm soaking, you'll get all wet.
Who cares? You're beautiful. You're my love. My only love.
Telegram for you, Captain.
Open it, read it.
Regard, Trevor Stevenson, born Rutland, Vermont. Purple Heart, Medal of Honor, Croix de Guerre. Patient of St. Elizabeth's Hospital for mental illness. Amnesia result of battle shock. Discharged after 18 months. Treatment successful. Well-known painter. Evans, Police Chief, Rutland.
Papa, what is amnesia?
How is the homework coming?
I can do it alone. What is amnesia?
Senora,
Yes?
it's I, Maria. May I see you? It's important.
Just a moment. Yes?
Senora, the senor has lost something. Something of value.
Lost something?
Some sketches.
Oh.
Like this one, senora.
Where did you get this?
They were found in her house. Would you give a reward?
Reward? Why?
They are valuable, no?
Maria, my husband probably threw them away.
I don't think so, senora. He left them at the house. Herrera found them.
And who is Herrera?
This was his wife. You like to come with me? I'll take you to him. Here, senora. It's all right, senora. In here. She's here, amigo.
Oh? Forgive me I not get up, senora, since my wife died. show her the sketches, Maria. They are yours.
They are my husband's.
You give a reward.
Why?
You understand, Senora. Since my wife died, I have no interest. I don't work. Nothing matters. I can't help it. I loved her.
Yes.
I don't want to make it bad for you, Senora. They call me amigo. I'm everybody's friend. But I need money. 6,000 pesos.
For what?
For reward.
That's ridiculous.
Your husband say he was not in the house with my wife. I was in Guadalajara when she died. I came back yesterday. I found this. I think your husband lies, Senora. I think you paid the 6,000 pesos.
Why don't you tell the police?
The police. She's dead now, Senora. A man must live. Perhaps I tell the police.
My husband had nothing to do with your wife's death.
I didn't say your husband had, Senora. But the police. Well, they believe it. You go get the money, Senora. You come back. Today?
Stell?
Yes?
Only be a minute. Where have you been? Well, darling, what is it? What's the matter?
Why did you lie to me?
What?
You were in that girl's house. The girl had a husband. He was away the night she was killed. When he came back, he found some of the sketches of the girl you drew in the house. You were in that girl's house. Why didn't you just say so?
I thought I'd hurt you. I was afraid of how it would look, what you might think. I met her at that cantina on the waterfront. She agreed to pose for me. Suddenly, I felt like I could work. I went to her cottage, sketched for an hour or so. She gave me a drink. When I woke up, she was gone, and I came back here. But how could I tell that to anybody? Who would have believed me? I wasn't even sure you would.
I believe you.
I didn't know. I wouldn't hurt you for anything in the world.
That awful man made me physically ill just to listen to him.
What man?
That girl's husband. He's trying to blackmail us. Trevor, you've got to go to the police right now and tell them everything. There's a law against blackmail.
Where did you meet this man?
In his house. Maria took me there. She knows everything.
When I didn't tell the police, I was thinking of you. I wonder... Now if I tell them, they may...
They'll believe you when you tell them why. Or will they? Maybe they won't. Why did we have to get involved in this just when everything was so perfect?
When does he want the money?
Now, today.
How much?
6,000 pesos. Trevor, we have to pay him, haven't we?
There'll be no end of it if we do. I better just face it, no matter what the police think of me.
No. It's my fault, really. If it hadn't been for me, you would have told them. Nobody will believe you now.
Still, blackmail's a dirty business.
I don't care. I love you. I won't let them do anything to you. The money's not important. I'll go to the bank right now and cash some traveler's checks. The only important thing in the world, my darling, is you.
Buenos dias, senora. I'm in luck. I was just on my way to call on you.
Oh, what was it?
Senora, why didn't you tell me about your husband?
What do you mean?
I received this last night. I think you should have told me that your husband was in a mental hospital. Or didn't you know?
Of course I knew.
Then why didn't you tell me? I was in the war too. I've great sympathy for men like your husband.
I had no reason to tell you.
You're very loyal, senora. I envy your husband and admire you.
What are you going to do?
Curious. Curious.
What are you going to do?
Send for a full report from the hospital.
Why? My husband is not ill now. I've lived with him for months. There isn't a better adjusted person anywhere.
It's only a matter of routine, senora. Believe me, I didn't mean to shock you. It will never be my wish to make you unhappy.
Good day, Captain.
An American. Senora Stevenson was just in here?
A moment ago, yes.
What did she want?
She changed some traveler's checks.
How large an amount?
$500, I think. Yes, 500.
Trevor! Trevor! Trevor!
Coming, Sal!
Forgive me, Alice, but in the corpse had two heads. How did Detective Rose break the case?
Don't you remember? He strung the soprano up by her heels from the chandelier in the opera house. Thank you, Maria.
Of course. So much better than the fumbling fool in this.
Don't we love one another? I'm your wife. There should be no secrets between us. Oh, Trevor, don't ever try to hide things from me or lie to me or keep me from knowing things.
I should have told you before we were married. But I loved you so much, I was afraid you might not go through with it.
Darling.
Battle shock, they said. I blacked out. Came to in some strange town, spent over a year in the hospital. Some kind of amnesia. There was a hospital right behind the line where they'd evacuated an orphanage. For the longest time, I couldn't get it out of my head, the sound of those bombs whizzing down on those kids. But I'm all right now. What good would it have done to tell you?
What'll be in the report they'll send the captain?
I don't know. Why?
Monteros looked so strange.
But I had nothing to do with this girl's death. I just talked to her.
And she was murdered, and he knows you've been in a hospital. If we could only leave.
We can't. There's no way. The buses, the airlines, they'd be sure to find out and then stop us. Anyway, I had nothing to do with this girl's death.
I don't know how they do things here. Anything can happen. Look. Fishing boats. We could go fishing. Everybody does it here. It's one of the tourist industries.
We're 1,000 miles from the border.
A fishing boat could get us to Ixtepec. From there, a plane to Veracruz and on to Brownsville, Texas. We could walk across the border. No passports, no anything. If we could get away by tomorrow morning, we could be in Ixtepec by tomorrow evening.
What about our things?
Leave them, clothes, luggage, everything. Trevor, I want to get out of here. I'm afraid.
Oh, darling.
Please. I'll drive down to the dock right now and find some fisherman and tell him we've got to get to Ixtepec by tomorrow. I'll pay him anything.
Stella, I don't think we should.
Herrera, the husband. We've got to stall him until we can get away. Maria! Tell your friend I couldn't get the money today. It'll have to be tomorrow. I had to wire for it. I'll see you upstairs, darling. I won't be long.
Over there, senora.
Thank you. Wait for me, huh?
Si, senora.
Good afternoon.
Buenas tardes, señora.
Oh, I was hoping to find someone who spoke English.
Oh, I am speak the good English.
Excellent. You take out fishing parties?
Oh, si, señora. All the best waros I know. Gomez fishing parties are famous. Come on, come on. Maria Cristina.
It's a lovely boat.
I guarantee safety boat. She go everywhere.
Could she go to Mazatlan and back?
Mazatlan? Too far. 2 days to go, 2 days to come.
But my husband wants big fish. Grande, grande. Comprende?
See, but there's big fish in here. I guarantee you catch plenty fish.
But it's also a party. Fun. Festival? We'd like to stay out overnight.
Ah, see, understood, eh? You want overnight. You and gentlemen.
No, you don't understand. He is my husband.
Oh, si. Your husband. But Maria Cristina, my wife, if I don't come home, she get mad. 4 days is too much.
What about Ixtepec? Closer?
Ixtepec, better. 1 day to go, 1 day to come back.
Are there any good hotels in Ixtepec? Could we stay ashore?
Sure, nice hotels. You and husband, like it?
Excellent. We leave early tomorrow morning, stay in Ixtepec tomorrow evening, come home the next day. You see Maria Cristina.
At what time we leave? 7, 6?
7.
7.
How much?
2 days? 1,000 pesos?
Good. Done?
Done. No. You pay now. In advance. I give receipt. What is the name?
Mrs. Trevor Stevenson.
Mrs. what?
Trevor Stevenson.
Mrs. Trevor. Mrs. Trevor.
Ready.
I hate lies. You think Senor Riedel will believe this? I'll go first get a cab. When I've got one, I'll signal from the gate. Watch from the window.
All right, Stella.
Buenos dias, senora. I see you love the early mornings, too. How is Senor Stevenson today? Not very well. The migraine still?
Yes.
He's in bed?
Yes.
Oh, that's too bad. You have the morning to yourself? My car is here. We could take a drive to Morning Beach. There is a magnificent view from there.
Some other time, perhaps. Thank you.
It's such a lovely day, no? No. C'est la vie. Buenos dias, senora. Oh, I almost forgot. As long as Senor Stevenson is ill, I dare say you won't be up to traveling to Ixtepec today. I took the liberty of picking up your passage money. I thought you were going to tell me when you planned to leave town.
We wanted to go fishing. It was a sudden decision.
The police asked you to stay.
We do not like to be told what we can do and what we cannot do. This is like living in a prison.
Oh, I know. And yet, isn't all life a prison in some way? And there is no escape from it. Not even the fisherman's boat to Ixtepec. Please, don't forget to tear up the receipt. Buenos dias, senora.
Oh, Trevor. How did he find out? That Gestapo.
Oh, darling.
I'll show him. We'll get out of here somehow. I'll find a way. I promise you that.
Darling, it's not that important.
It is. I want you well again. I want us free to do as we please. Oh, I have to pay Herrera today.
No, darling, I won't let you see that man again.
But he'll tell the captain, don't you see, darling, we need time.
All right, give me the money. I'll handle it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6,000 pesos.
Hello?
Senor?
Where's Herrera? I brought the money he asked for, and I want the things.
Certainly, senor. I take care of you. Here, senor. They are good drawings, but maybe a little expensive, no, senor?
Yes. Goodbye.
No, senor. We must seal the deal. Our custom. Compliment, senor. I wrong. Herrera say you give him the money. I do not think you do. You have much money, senor? Herrera never have money. He gamble, cockfight, get drunk. Women, he knows. Money he have no sense about. This he will spend real fast. I like to have money of my own. You do not know, senor. You're rich, but life is hard for a woman. A woman needs help. It is difficult to live. You draw it, senor. Maybe draw me too. I make good model. I work for artist once. He like me. He teach me many poses. He say I'm the best he ever had. I think you would like me. Do not be afraid, senor. It's only Manuel and his soul truck. He has no brakes. It will not disturb, amigo. We try, senor. You see if you like me. You know you have all your pictures.
Try one. Birthday present. My mother-in-law just had them sent from Havana.
What a chief of police. How can you take their attempt to leave town lightly? I think he's guilty.
Stevenson? I told you to let them go. They'll only be bothersome around here.
I talked to Dr. Cortez. He saw Stevenson the first day he got here. He was sick all right. A combination of claustrophobia and seasickness. Perhaps a reoccurrence of his wartime mental condition.
Tourists. Always something wrong. If it isn't their stomachs, it's But why pick on the American? Look, Enrique, anybody could have murdered that girl. She was the kind of girl who invites being murdered. Probably it was some fisherman or a drunken sailor. Anyway, what's a wife like? I hear she's most attractive.
She is, and devoted to her husband.
She hasn't succumbed to your fascination.
Why don't you talk to Stevenson?
Bring me more evidence than your interest in Senora Stevenson, and I will.
I can never get near him. His wife always sees me alone.
I knew she wasn't impervious to your charm. Go on. Question the lady again. Who knows what may happen? How's my godson these days?
Growing more every day?
You ought to marry again. Give the boy a mother.
That's what all the ladies say. Well, thanks for the cigar, if not the marital advice.
My pleasure. Good luck.
Amigo! Open the door. It is Manuel. Amigo!
is drunk. It's true. He drinks. It's his curse. Amigo! Amigo!
Maria.
Amigo! Amigo!
Maria!
Maria. Maria. Maria.
Maria.
Lotería, lotería, lotería. Lotería, señor. Lotería, lotería, señor. Lotería, lotería, señor. Lotería, lotería. Lotería, lotería, señor. Lotería, lotería, señor. Lotería. Lotería. Chicles. Chicles, chicles.
Trevor? Oh, it's you.
I take it I've missed your husband again.
He's out.
You're expecting him, obviously.
Not exactly.
You mind if I wait?
Your aunt may appreciate your company more than I would. And you can watch both doors from down there.
Aunt Nunu is a delightful woman, and in her youth has broken many hearts. But time, tequila, and destiny have had their way. I prefer to wait with you.
I've always heard that Latin men were very gallant, Captain. It is not a virtue I especially appreciate.
A national characteristic, Senora. If I offend, I'm sorry. But surely as a traveler you believe in the old doctrine, when in Rome, do as the Romans do.
You're very sure of yourself always, aren't you?
Shouldn't I be?
Captain, I don't know what your life has been like. My husband and I have known each other for over a year now. It's the only time in my life I've ever been happy. My parents died when I was a child. I never knew what happiness was until I met Trevor. I am passionately determined to keep my happiness. There was never a shadow on it until we met you and you kept us here.
I do not think this is fair, Senora. The circumstances of the crime were not my doing.
We only stopped here because my husband wasn't well. We were on our way home. We'd like to continue that journey.
That I realize after this morning.
Your gallantry, Captain, may be a national characteristic, or it may be a personal one. In the latter event, I assure you I don't like it.
Senora.
I've noticed you looking at me in a certain way every time we meet. I don't like that either. And if that's the reason behind your continual watching of us, your persecution of us, I cannot tell you how much I loathe and despise you. You may be your Aunt Nunu's naughty nephew, Captain. You are not mine.
Senora, I have a job to do. I'm doing it.
Are you? You know as well as I do my husband had nothing to do with the death of that girl, and your keeping us here is entirely a personal matter. Here is my husband. Whatever you want to say, say. Whatever you want to ask, ask. I think it's time we had this whole thing over and done with.
What is this?
I've just been telling the captain we want to be cleared and let out of this town. We have nothing to hide, Captain. In fact, I think there's something we should tell you that you don't know.
What have you said to her? What have you been telling my wife? We don't want you here. Get out.
Trevor, wait. To protect me, my husband lied to you. It's the only secret we have, Captain, and I don't want any secrets from you.
Stella.
Trevor, we must tell him. We cannot go on living in this twilight of truth and deception. You know that, don't you? Please let me tell him.
No, Stella, you won't.
Senor.
Get your filthy hands off of me.
Senor.
Trevor!
What's going on, Alice? I think someone's being killed. Gertrude, come back here. Don't go near those ruffians.
He's unconscious.
What happened?
What are you going to do?
What do you want me to do?
I'm so sorry.
Has he ever been like this before?
No. I don't know. He's the kindest of men. There's so unlike him.
This war illness. Sometimes these things come back. What was it you were going to tell me upstairs?
It was unimportant, I thought.
What was unimportant?
Let me talk to him. I'll bring him to your office in the morning, first thing, I promise.
Capitan Monteros!
Excuse.
Capitan Monteros?
Yes?
An urgent call for you, Captain. Homicide.
Get my hat. It's upstairs.
Yes, sir.
If you need me.
Thank you.
What is it?
Herrera's just been found with a murdered girl, Captain.
Captain?
Where's the body?
Maria.
You sent for the doctor, the coroner?
They are on their way.
Who was in the house when the body was found?
These 3 men.
You, come over here. What do you know about this?
Well...
You killed her?
No, no.
Or your friend did?
No,
Come here.
no! We come in the house and find him here, making noises over her, crying. See, she's dead then. He was drunk.
What do you know about this, Herrera?
I didn't kill her. I didn't do it. I swear it. Believe me, I didn't kill her. I wouldn't kill her. I loved her.
You loved her? So you killed your wife to be with her?
No. No! 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 No!
He says he loved this woman. You think he murdered his wife?
He was out of town the night his wife was killed. He's a prize fighter. He had a match in Guadalajara. He didn't get back until the next day.
Check again. Maybe someone was covering for him.
I checked and double-checked. His alibi holds up.
Both the women were strangled the same way. These prize fighters, you never know. What are you thinking?
No evidence. No evidence against Stevenson.
Stevenson? We have evidence against Herrera. This afternoon he was found with the body of his girlfriend.
Look, wherever we turn, we come upon one figure, the American. He was seen with the first girl. The second girl was the maid where he lived. Several years ago, he was in a mental hospital.
No evidence, and you know it. As far as I'm concerned, the American has nothing to do with the case. In fact, you can tell them they can leave anytime they want.
You can if you want to. I want to hold Stevenson.
If you want to hold Stevenson, bring me some legitimate evidence, not tinted with your personal feelings.
Good morning, senora.
Good morning. You're the captain's son, aren't you, Roberto?
Yes, senora. I saw you from way down there.
You did? And you ran all this way just to say good morning?
No, senora. To see if you are all right.
Of course I am. What made you think I wasn't?
My father.
Your father?
It is his job, I guess. But last night he cannot sleep. He says it is because he worries about you.
How very considerate.
You must not be afraid of anything, senora. Not when my father looks after you. And I'm very watchful, too. We take good care of you.
I'm sure you will. Thank you, Roberto.
Yes, senora.
Forgive me, Mrs. Stevenson. My nerves have been so on edge since I heard the horrible news. Makes your blood run frigid, doesn't it?
What news?
You don't? I just slipped down the street to get some fruit for Gertrude and I heard it. Poor Maria. Imagine the monster killing two girls. The Bluebeard.
Maria? Something's happened to her?
He's dead. Strangled. Finger marks all over its throat. What's that man's name, the husband of the girl found in the bay? Herrera. He did it. They caught him with the body yesterday afternoon. Police are holding him now. We girls needn't fear any longer. Of course, he killed his wife, too. Both murders precisely the same. Crimes of passion. Gertrude! Gertrude! You'll be fascinated.
Trevor? Trevor?
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Who is it?
Senor Stevenson?
Just a moment, please.
Senora Stevenson, the chief of police asked me to tell you, you and your husband are at liberty to leave the city whenever you wish. He is sorry you have been troubled. The case in which the senor was a witness has been settled.
Settled?
There has been a new murder, and the man, amigo Herrera, is now being charged with both crimes. The chief wanted you to know as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Good day, senora.
What's the matter, darling?
Wonderful news. We can go. We can leave. We don't have to stay here any longer.
We don't?
The chief of police sent word just now. We can be home tomorrow, Trevor. Tomorrow.
Home. Then why are you crying, darling? Who came to tell you, Monteris?
Mr. Policeman. What are you looking for? What's the matter, darling?
I had a bad dream, a nightmare about yesterday. Only I can't quite remember.
What kind of nightmare?
That girl, the maid, she was in it.
Maria.
I went to that house, and those sketches.
Yes, Trevor, I have them. I put them in the bag.
My head, it hurts. I can't think.
No, darling, it's not important.
It's just that I can't remember.
Don't try to think. We'll be home tomorrow. We'll go to the hospital. You can see your own doctor.
Those blank periods of nothing. Stella, if I was sick, you wouldn't leave me, would you? I mean, it's not bad. It'll go away. You're wonderful, Stella. I do remember something. I hit you last night.
No, darling.
Yes, I hit you. I did. I remember that.
Trevor, look at me. You didn't hit me. Do you understand?
Don't hit me.
Hate you? How could I ever hate you?
I've told you so many times, Stella, you're all I've got. If I lost you...
Don't.
Remember our honeymoon? The wishing well? We threw gold coins into it and promised we'd never be separated. We were pretty wonderful, weren't we, Stella? There wasn't anything wrong anywhere in the world. It was a small world, just Stella and Trevor. Just two people. Then here the serpent came into Eden and drove us out of paradise. Stella, you're all I've got. You're all I've ever known of paradise, all I ever hope to find of heaven. If the shadows close in, Stella, you've got to be here to give me light.
I know that.
What about your wife?
There was nothing between us anymore. I know what she was like. I didn't kill her. But when she was dead, I was glad. But Maria was my whole life.
Both women were killed. Strangled the same way. Thumb pressure was brought to bear here.
I didn't kill anyone.
How much did you make on your last fight the night your wife was killed? How much did you get paid?
800 pesos.
You save your money?
Oh, I have no money, sir. You can get nothing of me.
Maria, did she have any money? How did she get this? 6,000 pesos.
6,000 pesos?
It was found on her body.
And she came at last. She was there.
Who was there?
The American, Senora.
Senora Stevenson?
That's it. She was coming.
Why?
On business.
What kind of business could she have with you?
About her husband.
What about him?
When I came home from Guadalajara after my wife is killed, I found some things of the senor's in my house. I knew he was there with my wife, no matter what he say.
Why didn't you tell me that before?
I told Maria. She say we can have money. The senor doesn't want the police to know. She gets the senora to come to my place or I bring the things to the police so they will know the American lie about not being in the house.
That's blackmail. What about the senora?
She was to bring the money yesterday, 6,000 pesos.
What are those things?
Pictures of my wife. The senor, he drew them.
Where were they kept?
Oh, there's a cabinet in the house.
They didn't find anything like that.
No, Captain. We searched every corner of the house.
We'll go back. Come along.
I wanted to tell you yesterday. Yes, Trevor did go to the girl's house. He was afraid if he told you about it, I might misunderstand.
That is not true, Senora. The sketches are no longer in the house. Someone took them. Someone gave Maria 6,000 pesos. 3 days ago, Senora, you took 6,000 pesos from the bank.
I don't want to talk to you. The chief of police said we can go now. My husband is ill, very ill. I don't want him upset.
Whoever left the money murdered Maria.
You haven't any proof of anything.
A man is in jail now, accused of those crimes. An innocent man. What of him?
There's at least a week before his trial, isn't there?
Yes?
And I have time. Please forgive me, Captain. I have many things to attend to.
What are you trying to do?
Goodbye, Captain.
I'm thinking of you, Senora. What about the future? What kind of nightmare will you have from this day on? Your love is not enough to protect you.
What makes you think I want protection?
You believe your husband is innocent?
Innocent? Only children are innocent. I know my husband to be good. Goodbye, Captain.
I am sorry, senor, that we have so much trouble during your stay here. I hope you have a pleasant flight.
Thank you.
And nobody to help you with your bags. Poor Maria.
I called the express company this morning. They said they would pick up our bags by this evening. You have our address if there are any additional charges or anything.
A good trip, senora. Perhaps one day we see you again.
Perhaps. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
If you believe Herrera's story about blackmail, sketches, and so forth.
You could question the Americans a little longer. She never told us she was there. He never told us he was in the house.
Where are they now?
On their way to the airport. You told them they could leave.
All right. All right, bring them in. But remember, Enrique, diplomatically, understand? Go on. Go on.
To the airport. Yes, sir.
What is it?
The noise.
Your head bothering you?
It'll be all right. I'll take a sleeping pill on the plane.
You go inside. I'll get the luggage through.
Maybe we could make this trip tomorrow.
No, Trevor. We've got to get out of here and get home. You'll feel all right once we're on our way. You go inside. I'll get the luggage through. It'll only take a few minutes.
Gracias.
Sweetheart. Is the pain so bad?
Go away, Stella. Go away, leave me alone.
Leave you? How can I leave you? Trevor, listen to me. We've got to fight this. It's our only chance.
Go away, Stella.
Trevor, dearest.
Look, it was this way before. Each time I got sick, I couldn't remember. It's happening again.
Don't believe it.
It's been happening since we came here. I didn't know.
I don't believe it.
Go away, Stella. I'm all right.
Of course you are.
There are children here! Children and wounded! Stop! Stop! It's a hospital! Hospital!
Check the hangar.
Yes, sir.
Come, Pedro.
Sister! Sister! Help, sister! They're calling you there, the children! There's one of them now, sister. He must have crashed. Where's my gun? Where's my gun?
Capitan Monteros!
Let me go, sister. I'll get him.
senor. Don't shoot!
Run for the ambulance!
Darling. Darling.
What's the matter, Stella?
There was an accident, darling.
Oh? I feel so tired. Where are you, Stella?
Right here, very close.
Hold my hand. Don't leave me.
Trevor?